Down, say you down. You gotta stand up and fight. Oh, you gotta do stand up. Oh, you, oh, you, fight.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Oh, you, fight.
In person is so much more beautiful.
What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast. Down here at a Bunch of Bulls Studios, just like we are every week. And today, we got a special guest in the house for y'all. We got my man Spike Yee in the building. What's going on with you, bro?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me up here, dude.
Man, I'm glad that you came down to join us for real. Came up to join us, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm just glad to be up here kicking it with y'all. It's been a minute since I've been up here, so, I'm glad to be back.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I like to start off the podcast saying how I was introduced to the artist or how I come to find the guest or the creative I have on. So with you, me and my man Jesse, if y'all haven't watched the episode, Mr. Bunch of Bull himself, we just did a podcast, but me and Jesse headed down to Morgantown, West Virginia, for a show to see my man Wolf Jones. And we ran into you that night, and I liked what you was doing, what you was laying down, and your style, real organic hip hop. And you had a dope vibe to you, man. You was friendly, welcoming, warm. So I seen a lot of the stuff that you've been doing lately as well. With some of the freestyles and things like that. And I was like, yeah, let me get my man Spike E here, see if he'll be down to join us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Always down to come through.
Yeah, man. So I know I touched on the freestyles that you've been doing recently. What inspired you to start creating content in that manner, doing those different freestyles?
Really, it's just it was all this started during like quarantine, so it was like I was just at home making random videos for Instagram and TikTok, and then I've always been keen on just like just rapping over classic beats and like remixing songs and stuff like that. So it's I just did the first one I did was I got 5 on it.
Oh man, I love that. I love that song, bro.
That one I just dropped a 16 on it, and it got really good response. And
Yeah.
Somebody, one of my followers just hit me up and was just like, "Yo, you should start like a series and just do that, just like all the time." And I was like, you know what, that sounds like a pretty good idea. That's like, it's like I have fun doing these, just like pumping out a 16 here and there, and
Yeah.
they're all classic songs, all stuff that I grew up listening
Sharpens
to.
your still too, right? You
Yeah, it's exercise,
your craft, yeah.
just exercise for my brain,
Right.
and just being able to just like put myself in that environment and be able to learn how to turn it on and off, you know what I mean? Like just the writing in general, just creativity in general. It was like forcing me to do things, right? Like forcing me to be consistent with content, forcing me to write every week, you know what I mean? Because it's like, otherwise, like, I just get caught up with life, and sometimes you just, as a human being, you just forget, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
you just,
Start life, and then you gotta
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah.
No, that's dope, and I like the fact that you said it became a part of your regimen.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can keep the music in the forefront as well as create some dope content.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
No, that's fire. So you said 5 on it was the first.
Yeah, I
First,
got
were you-
5 on it.
Were you a fan of the song The Loonies? And were you a
Yeah,
fan of-
man. It's and it's crazy because a lot of these remixes that I'm dropping, some of them gets the attention of the original artist.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, so it's more than I ever expected, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just to get any sort of response from them is like a huge validating point for me. And I'm like a person who like never really looks for validation, but
Yeah.
like to receive it from people that I look up to is
Yeah.
like crazy. Like even like Spike Lee commented on one of my videos one time. I remixed the He Got Game song that
Yeah.
was
The
who
Public
was it?
Enemy.
Public Enemy. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. Flavor Flav liked it. Actually, he liked the video, and then Spike Lee actually left a comment under the video as well.
That's
And
fire.
that was like that was like mind blowing for me, just because obviously my name, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and everything is a tribute to him. So just to be able to like get any sort of acknowledgement, you know what I mean, from him is crazy. So that's it's super fun, and it's like I'm really just trying to like pay tribute and pay homage to my influences growing up, you know.
So now you said Spike Lee commented. Of course, you said Flavor Flav commented. Who was the comment, or who did you get a response from that was like, damn, I can't believe they're even checking me out. Who was the one? Was it Spike Lee or was it somebody else?
Spike Lee is definitely one of the top ones for sure. I mean, his movies made a big impact on my life. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of my favorite directors. Um, there was a couple, honestly. I remixed Do or Die song, and I got a follow back from AK, one of the members
Yeah,
of Do or
for sure.
Die.
Which song did you do? Po Pimpin'?
Yeah, Pope Pimp.
Yeah.
Yep. That was still one of my favorite remixes that I've done. But yeah, I mean, he even hit me with a DM and everything and showed respect, and I was like, that was just huge for me, just to get that any sort of recognition or acknowledgement for that, because it's not something I look for, but when I do get it, it's like, you know, just
It feels good.
it feels good, you know.
Yeah. Let you know all your hard work isn't in vain, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because a lot goes into it. Now you said Spike Lee was an influence on you growing. Is that what made you take to the name? Was it solely because of him?
It was him in part, and also it kind of, the idea actually came from an episode of the Jamie Foxx show. There was an episode where they did a spoof on Spike Lee, and like it was like I can't remember the character's name, but it was like Ike Yee or something like that. You know what I mean? And then I used to wear like these like big thick frame glasses. You know what I mean? The same ones you see Spike Lee wearing. And so you know, I'm also a huge fan of the Knicks, New York Knicks fan. So like somebody back in the day when I was in college, like I had those glasses on, and somebody was like, "You Spike Lee looking motherfucker," and I was like, you know what? That's actually a really good name. I was like, how can I play on
run
that?
with that,
Yeah, I was like, how can I run with that? So it was a multitude of factors that went into the name, but you know, Spike Lee obviously was a huge part of that. And you know, it was even crazier just because I met Spike Lee when I was like 12 in New York.
Really?
Yeah, it was a random occurrence.
That's
like
fire.
I was just in Times Square at the Virgin Records store, and they had a Barnes and Nobles in the basement. And so I was down there, and he was just standing there in one of the aisles reading a book. And I was like 12, so I was like, didn't really know who he was at the time. I knew I had seen him before, like seen him on, like courtside at Knicks games and stuff. So I went up to him. I was like, I was like, are you famous? And he was like, yeah, maybe. And then he was like, you look like you are. And he was like, I could be. And then he like walked away. And then as soon as he walked outside, like a bunch of Japanese tourists like swarmed him and like started taking pictures with him. And I was like, oh, that guy must be important. And then I got older and I realized that was him. And I was like, oh my God, that was him. Like
actually rub shoulders with Spike Lee.
yeah, you know, so all of that, you know, went into this name, and just like it was the Spike Yee name is actually a rebrand. I used to just go by J May, which is my name, Josh May.
Right.
And then the connotations were too close to my personal life, and I needed a little bit of separation
Yeah.
between the two. So that's
can
kind of when
appreciate that, yeah.
that's when I rebranded. And also, like at the time, I was like looking for jobs, like fresh out of college. So I like didn't really want people to like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Just being able to separate like my music and my professional life and whatnot. So that's when I really changed all my tags and changed everything over. And you know, I did that probably in like 2015 or so, and I've been running with that since. So
yeah. So what's your favorite Spike Lee movie?
Probably He Got Game.
Okay.
And I say that only because that was the first Spike Lee movie I ever watched.
Okay.
And also Denzel and Ray Allen, like Jesus Shuttlesworth is one of the greatest movie characters of all time, in my opinion.
And Denzel's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Absolutely, man. He did a great job and excellent job in that. And then I would have to say my number 2 is X, the Malcolm X story, another Denzel. You know what I'm saying? It's like amazing. That was an incredible movie. And then I would say
Denzel played such a great Malcolm too, didn't he?
Oh my God, perfect.
Like, you would think he was Malcolm.
For real.
If you just threw a clip on from that movie in black and white, and you seen him giving a speech, you'd be like,
yeah. I know, right? It's crazy. It's uncanny, the similarities. I mean, he studied that. He played he studied that character so well, and it's
Absolutely.
like killed
And
that.
such a prolific figure in history.
Mm-hmm.
To have to walk in the shoes of.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I would say to round out my top three, probably, just let's go with the classic "Do the Right Thing."
Okay, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? That one, and it's funny because that one actually I just watched in like my more adult years. Like I started out with like his newer ones, and I kind of worked my way backwards as I got older. And then especially once more started becoming available on like streaming sites and stuff.
Yeah.
That's when I could
When it
really
became more accessible.
that's when I could really dive deep into his catalog. Yeah.
For sure. So, all right. So you adopted the Spike Yee moniker from Spike Lee. So I appreciate
Yeah.
it. So let's go back a little bit. Now, when was the first time that you found yourself like loving music to the point where you wanted to be involved in it? When was the first time hip hop? What was the first song or the first moment that came to mind for you where hip hop was like, yeah, this is something I want to be a part of? Like, I just can't be a spectator. I got to participate.
I have a specific song, specific date, specific album.
Damn.
It was I remember this to this day. It's so clear because hip hop has played such a big role in my life, you know what I mean? And I was 12 years old. It was 1999. I was in Times Square. It was the same day that I met Spike Lee. I was in Times Square. They were doing TRL, and Jay-Z was dropping Volume 3, Life and Times of Sean Carter, in December of 1999, and he was gonna be on TRL that day. So there were people standing outside the building on the streets with big signs with Volume 3 on it and whatnot. And I was like, and I didn't really know, like, I didn't really get exposed to hip hop until I was like, around that age, 12, 13 years old. And so I didn't really know much about Jay-Z at the time, but I saw the pictures of the album and I was like, oh, this looks solid. Like all these people are out here waiting for him. Like it must be good. So like I went home after I left New York. I came home and was at Walmart and I saw the CD there. It was the edited version.
Yeah,
and of course Walmart back in the day. But because it was edited, my mom let me buy it.
Nice.
Because back in the
Ended
day,
up working out for you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the parental advisory stickers were a big turnoff for my parents, So it's like anything that had that sticker, they'd be like, nah, but this was the edited version. So my mom was like, all right, cool, you can get it. Bought it with my own money. It was one of the first CDs I bought with my own money as well. Put that on song number 2, So Ghetto, produced by DJ Premier. As soon as that song hit, like the 808s and like as soon as like
The Million didn't do it for you?
Huh?
The Million didn't do it for you, the intro?
Oh, I mean it was good, but it was just when I heard that
track,
beat, when I heard that Primo beat, the So Ghetto one, it was like something. It struck a chord in me. Like I don't know if it was like the key signature that it was in, like the tempo, just the crispiness of the snares. You know what I mean? Like the Premier snares and all that.
Yeah,
like
Primo's in my top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. And that song is really why for me, because that is what got me really like it. Because as soon as I heard the first 30 seconds of that, I was hooked to just that feeling that was conveyed through that beat and that song. And like, so I will take that with me to the grave. Like I will always remember it because it's still such a vivid memory for me. Like I popped it in my CD player. I was like, in my room. It was probably like 5 o'clock. I was like getting ready for dinner. You know what I mean? So my parents were about to call me down for dinner, and I was like sitting there in my room with my headphones on, and it was just like that song came on, and it's like, and the rest is history. After that, I just couldn't get enough of it, and I just searched out every rap CD I could find, every hip hop artist. Like after I was just, I was on a search for more after that. So
have you did freestyle to that joint yet?
I have actually. I didn't release it because I wrote that one like a long time ago. So I think I'm gonna
revisit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna revisit it and I'm gonna put a new verse on it I've always been like so wary about that touching that beat because it was such an impactful
it holds
one.
such a place in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it has such a special place in my heart that I'm like, man, I don't even know if I want to like do anything on it,
I feel you.
But I think I will eventually at some point.
Yeah, for sure. So you listen to Jay-Z. You said you started digging in the crates and started getting like more into hip hop. Do you remember like some of your influences growing up? Like who were some of the artists that you heard that inspired you growing up?
So Jay-Z definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Young Wayne, like Hot Boys, Lil
Yeah,
Wayne. You know, I was real big into the whole Cash Money movement,
yeah,
Juvenile. I really, really still love Juvenile to this day,
yeah.
honestly,
Same.
and he's
No, for
very,
sure.
I think he's very underrated.
He
Like,
is.
you know, but that man, did some big things in
He
his
sold a
day,
lot of
man.
records.
Mm-hmm.
He sold a lot of records.
So a lot, man, and he honestly like really kind of revolutionized hip hop for the I don't want to say the South, but just
No, I
at
know what you
least the
mean.
New Orleans area. Like he put it in the mainstream and was like, "Yo, like we're here." You know what I'm saying? Like check us out. Like New Orleans. You know, like
I feel like their collaborations with a lot of the New York artists too, right?
yeah,
Because you talk about Volume Three, he was featured on Jay
yeah. He was
Z's
on Jay Z's.
Volume Three. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he had the songs with the Rough Riders. He did the
Yep.
the Rough Riders, Ride or Die.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Southern artists weren't really having that crossover appeal
Yeah,
to
no,
the
you're right.
North.
Actually, I really never thought about it like that. But like Juvie was one of the first ones to really like branch out of his region
Yeah,
and like do it because
and
yeah,
have that
like
crossover appeal. Yeah,
hmm I mean, it was great, but like that, and speaking of which, like those were some of Juvenile, Jay Z, DMX,
hmm,
Eminem, Young Wayne. Those were all the ones that were on top whenever I got into hip hop.
yeah,
So it's like those were the guys like at the time, and then it's like if going back a little bit more, Method Man, Redman,
yeah,
one of my favorite duos in the history of hip hop next to Outkast. You know what I mean?
yeah. It sounds like we got a lot of the
Yeah,
similar favorites for sure. Yeah,
yeah, because it's like I'm a '90s kid, and I my teenage years was like in the 2000s, like my later teenage years. So
yeah,
like, but so like the heavy influences for me were like the late '90s,
yeah.
real early
Me and
2000s.
my brother got into a debate about because we were talking about DMX drop "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot" and "Flesh of My Flesh,
In
Blood
the
of My
same
Blood" in the
year.
same year.
Yeah.
And he still has the record for the only artist to go number one for in the same year for two different
Dang.
albums. And then he
That's
dropped
crazy.
another number one with "Then There Was X." But
Mm-hmm.
me and my brother got into a dispute because he thought that the Slim Shady LP dropped the same time, the same year, which would have been 1998 is when
Mm.
DMX dropped those
Mm-hmm.
two. And I wasn't sure. I knew it was really close, but I thought it was after.
I thought Slim Shady LP was '99, but I
It
could be
was
wrong.
99.
Was it '99?
So it was 99 as far as I looked it up. But he made a good point. He was like, he said, I remember it being 98 specifically because of 97 Bonnie and Clyde. And
Mm.
he was like, I thought it was weird that he had a song called 97 Bonnie and Clyde
Mm-hmm.
in 98. And he said if it
True.
would have been 99, it would have been that much weirder to him.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah.
but Wikipedia and the internet does say 99
Mm.
was when that came out. But yeah, no, for sure, man. Those are good artists to be influenced by. The influence certainly does spill through in your music. Today, I could tell that lyricism is important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm a writer by trade. I studied journalism in college. I was a
Okay,
broadcast journalism major, so I did like TV, radio, like had to like write my own scripts and
nice,
shoot videos and stuff. I mean, honestly, everything that I learned in college is prepared me to be an independent artist in 2024.
dope.
It's just like doing everything yourself. I mean, got to put together the package, shoot
Yep.
video, edit video, do voiceovers, write your own script, deliver it on camera. I went to school for all that, and just so happens that that's what I'm doing
It's
now.
giving you some real world application now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It took about 10 years because, for a long time I thought I just wasted $20,000 that I still haven't paid back. But, Uncle Sam, I'll pay that back eventually.
Hey, Biden, why don't you forget them joints real quick before you get up out of there?
Hmm.
But no, I that's dope that you were able to take what you learned in college and apply it to your music, and the fact that you're a writer by trade, like I said, it certainly comes across in your music. How important is lyricism to you? Like not only whenever you're making your own music, but even when you're listening to music, is that something that's important to you?
Yeah, I mean, personally, for me, it's number one, just because of it being my forte. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? So that is what I listen for whenever I listen to music. It's harder for me to get down to stuff that I can't break down. Right, because I when I listen to rap or hip hop in general, it's like I want to listen to things that I can't do myself, right? So it's like I listen for the technicalities, like the technical aspects of things, whereas I listen for, everything that a rapper would listen for, like flow, cadence, enunciation. Like I listen for all these things because these are things that, going back to what I learned, what I was educated in, like these are things that I was taught how to do. I was taught the proper way to enunciate my words and project my voice and do all these things. So it's like when I'm listening to stuff, I'm also thinking about that. And
you're kind of being critical of it as well.
yeah, and it also kind of sucks to be a fan of the music and also be a student of the art because you do find yourself being critical. It's like watching it's like there's that meme that it's got like a football player that's like dressed head to toe in gear, and then he's like standing in the bleachers and he's like watching the game, and it's like how it feels when musicians go to concerts. And that's like how I feel, you know what I mean? And it's like I don't know if it's because I'm just getting old and critical and like becoming an old head, but it's like that is how I feel. Like I would much rather be performing than watching. You know what I mean? And there's nothing against anybody or any performers or whatever, but that's
makes you anxious.
It makes me anxious because I see somebody else on there. I'm like, oh, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
So.
No, I can appreciate that, bro. I very much feel the same way, and it's not like you said, it's no knock on whomever may be performing.
Right. Yeah. It's just it's the passion, right? It's the passion because I see somebody else doing it, and it's like, and I do this too, and I want people to know that I do this too.
Yeah, and you can feel how good they feel by being on stage because there's a certain high that you get when you're on stage and you're performing.
Oh, absolutely. It's unmatched, man. That's why I can't it's hard for me to like do other thrill-seeking things because once you've kind of had a taste of that, it's like nothing else really like
things
compares.
Fail in comparison, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really just like chasing that dragon every time I perform, every time. And if I don't get on stage for a while, like I start to get an itch where I'm like, oh man, like I haven't performed in a while. Like I need to get on stage and I need to let these emotions loose somehow, you know? So that's exactly what it is.
To let people hear what you've been working on and to get the reaction from people when you're performing these songs.
Yeah, it's an energy exchange, It
is.
Because you go out there and you're pouring your heart out and you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position for other people to, to view, to criticize, to appreciate, or to whatever. But whatever it is, you're still putting a piece of yourself out there. And that's like, that's what makes the rush feel so good is because it is a big risk. So it's like the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why it does feel so good. It feels cathartic because it's like I left everything I had out on stage, and whether you liked it or not, I did that and that felt good to me. And at the end of the day, that's like the fulfillment side of it. And that's where I get the fulfillment from.
Right. Giving it everything that you have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we got the volume 3 from Jay-Z. We started getting more albums, more hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
When did you work on your first song? What was your first song, or how did that come about?
I think I wrote my first song in 6th grade. It was absolutely awful.
As it's supposed to be,
as it should be.
Yeah,
I was like 12 years old, 6th grade, and it was like I just wrote a rap after hearing that album, and then I heard I think I heard like Hi, My Name Is by Eminem on the radio shortly after that. And then I heard like What's My Name by DMX. And then I bought that album. And so during that time, that was like 98, 99, those years. And it's like I just started getting into writing. I never shared anything with anyone. I let one of my friends read my rap back in 6th grade, the first one and he read it. And honestly, he didn't really have anything to say negative or positive about it. He was just like, oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, there's a rap? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But, and then I started doing it in high school. Got a lot of ridicule in high school for it.
Really?
Yeah, it was just, it's like I grew up in Morgantown and it's just not a regular thing, you know what I mean? And then so it's just, and I was also like a super reserved, like shy kid in high school. Like I just kept to myself. Nobody really knew anything about me. I didn't really like hang out with too many. I had like a core group of like homeboys and that was it.
Yeah.
So like, nobody really knew anything about me or what I did. So whenever I came out, it was like, oh, like I write raps.
I'm a rapper, yeah.
Everyone's like, come on, blah, come on now. You know what I mean? And then they would like they would ask to like read my stuff. And I let one kid read my stuff and he like made fun of me to no end, just absolutely shit on me. And I was like, and honestly, it didn't really make me feel any type of way. It like made me want to do it more because I was just like, spiteful. It's like, okay, you tell me I'm not gonna do this, I'm gonna definitely do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just kept doing it, kept doing it. Had a couple friends who were like really supportive, who were like, yo, this is dope. You should just keep doing it. Like, you got something. And so I just kept doing it all throughout college. I recorded my first song. I think I was 19 in the dorms. I had a little shitty like mic, like webcam mic or whatever, like that came with like the school computer that was in our dorms, and I made a recording booth in my bathroom. You know what I'm saying? The old school. I put that bitch in the tub and just, you know what I mean, like ran the cords all the way from my bathroom all the way out through the door to the computer in the living room or whatever, and I started recording myself like that. But yeah, so and
how was it when you first started recording? Like, was you letting the homies listen to it at that point, or were you still trying to like keep it tucked in?
I was anxious to share my stuff,
Okay.
but in more ways than one. So obviously, a little nervous because, like I said, you're putting a piece of your soul into your music. But
Right.
I was always excited to share because I was young and hungry and very enthusiastic about the game at that point.
Right.
So it's like anything I made, I'd be like, oh, yo, you guys got to hear this. You guys got to hear this. I mean, that's all I used to do in college. Like, I lived in a party house, and my roommates would throw parties on weekends, and I would literally just be in my room writing songs and recording myself. I'd go out, grab a beer, go out to the keg, grab a beer.
You wasn't performing at the parties?
Not at that time, because I wasn't in my like artist era yet.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was still just writing and recording for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like my roommates knew that I rapped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I would write my song, record it. Usually by like halfway through the party, I'd be done with like at least one song. I'd come out, call my homeboys in. They'd take a break from the party, come in my room. We'd roll up and, I'd play my songs. And this happened like, every weekend, where it's just like I would only join the party if I was done doing what I wanted to do. And that was record songs in my room.
Music, yeah.
Yeah, so that was, but that was a super fun process, man. Just learning about everything, learning the ins and outs of how to do things yourself, how to, put together a studio and like all sorts of stuff. And I really still didn't know what I was doing at the time, but it was fun for me. And that's really why I did it, is like, it was fun and it was a way for me to express myself without going to therapy.
What was the reaction like from the homies whenever you were?
They all loved it. They were my friends were in college anyways. My friends were supportive. They were all about it. That's when
were they anticipating it? Like,
yeah,
working on
they would, because my friends back home would, because I would leave for school. I would go to Ohio for school, and my friends back in West Virginia would be like, and every time I would come back from school on break, I would have like a new mixtape for them.
Yeah.
And I would come then I would drop off every time I would come hang out with my friends back home. I'd come home and they'd be like, yo, it's like, you've been working on some new stuff? You got some new stuff? And I'd be like, yeah. Every time I'd come back with new songs for them. I'd just drop a CD off at my homegirl's crib, and then I would, go back to school, and they would play that shit. They would send me videos of them like playing my songs at like their parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was all like very supportive after like a certain point, right? Like after you get past like the adolescence and like the immaturity of like just people being people, like the crowd that I've always had around me has been super supportive. So I'm always very thankful for that.
Now, what was it like? Like you said, you grew up in Morgantown, West Virginia. Did you have any influences that were local? Were there any like local rappers that you seen as you were coming up doing this? That you were like, oh, this is dope. He's doing this. I could.
Yeah, well, in Morgantown we had there was I like to say the generation before me, right? Like they had a collective, and they were called Sound Vision, spearheaded by a guy named Eric Jordan. He goes by DJ Monstalung.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out Monstalung. Him, and he was a DJ, and then his brother 66240 was a rapper. And so they were, when I was in high school, they dropped, like, they were out and real active, and they were heavy on the scene. And they were the first rappers out of West Virginia. He was the first rapper out of West Virginia that I knew of.
Yeah.
You know, so just to see somebody from our area, you know what I mean, talking about things that we could really relate to, like,
Yeah.
it was
Was it
just
inspirational?
very inspirational, you know,
Yeah.
just be like, okay, like this guy's from here and he's doing this. Like, I could probably do it too if I
Yeah,
wanted, you
yeah.
know? So that was really a big thing for me, just to see that there were people in Morgantown doing something that I, you know,
You
saw
aspired toward
myself doing.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, shouts out to, you know, I mean, the whole Sound Vision gang, man. Like
Yeah, for
all
sure.
those cats, like they spearheaded the hip hop scene in Morgantown, and Monster Lung was the first person to give me an opportunity to perform in town. So, you know, he has my gratitude for that, and
Hell yeah.
you know, everything kind of snowballed from that first show that it gave me. So
Hell yeah. Shout out to them boys, man.
yeah, respect.
So now you're doing the music. Before we go any further, I don't want to go any further without this. How can the people get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you, listen to the music? What's the best way to tune into the music as well as get a hold of you on? Like, your
You
social
can
medias
find
and
me
stuff?
on all social media at Spike Yeezy, SPIKEYEEZY. That's, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, I guess, Threads, all that. If you want to search my music, just search Spike Yee, SPIKEYEE, on Spotify, Apple Music, all the major streaming platforms. I'm on there, so I think I'm the only one. And the only reason I went with Spike Yeezy for the tag is because there was already, whenever I signed up for Instagram, there was already a Spike Yee,
There's
and
always
it's
that one person.
always
yeah.
that one. And like,
Yeah.
I went to check out her profile, and it's like, it's just this like middle-aged, like Asian lady from, like, I don't know, she's not from the States, she's from somewhere else, and
Chilling.
she owns,
She just chilling.
she's just chilling. She got a husband, she got a family, you know what I mean? She posts like food and travel pictures and stuff, but it's like,
You need to hit her DMs like,
I
yo, just let me
tried,
have that.
bro. I've been like, yo, like, can I buy this account from
Yeah.
you? Because like, but I just had this conversation with somebody the other day about it, and I was like, man, at this point though, it would just be such a pain because then I would have to change
Everything.
like
Yeah.
my business cards, my websites, like
Yeah.
all that. I would have to change all that. So I'm like, all right, I'll just rock with Spike Easy for now.
No, hell yeah, Spike Easy. But Spike E, if y'all looking for him on those streaming platforms, make sure you get Spike E like that. And we're down here at Marley State of Mind podcast, the world's dopest podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios. Now, so you're doing the music in college, you're recording. Are you like dropping projects at that time?
I dropped one collaborative album with, I had like a rap group in college,
Okay.
and they were all cats that I used to battle. So we had
dope.
yeah, so my first, like, my introduction to hip hop performance was actually freestyle battles.
Nice,
Like
yeah. Hell yeah.
I used to freestyle battle before I ever stepped on a stage to rap one of my own songs. That's what gave me the confidence to actually start performing my
Hell
own
yeah,
songs.
bro. I love that. Yeah, that's,
And
that's
it
how
was
it should be. Yeah.
it was like straight 8 Mile style. Like
Yep.
it was at a music venue, and you know, the crowd, place was packed shoulder to shoulder from front to back. Like I have pictures of it, and you literally get up on stage, the DJ plays a beat, and you rap for 30 seconds, and the
real
crowd chooses.
freestyling too.
Yeah, real freestyling, like
Yeah.
like off the top,
Yep.
like improvisation.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that was tough, but it is like you really get humbled very quickly doing that. So you really can't go in with an ego, and that was like one of the things that allowed me to appreciate, just like truly appreciate like bravado in hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you like, it's funny because like you can't really have an ego, but you have to present one.
You have to be
know
confident.
what I mean? You have to be confident.
You have to exude extreme confidence.
And it's like, even if I didn't know what I was rapping, like it's just whatever stream of consciousness coming out, you still had to deliver it with some sort of intensity
Yeah.
or something so that the crowd can feel whatever emotions you're trying to convey while you're rapping. And it's like, and it was crazy. The energy, you want to talk about energy exchange, man. Whenever people are really like, whenever you, it's like, get off one punchline and everybody like reacts to it, it's like, it's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. So,
I think that's really the gladiators arena for hip hop.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're really getting molded with trial by fire whenever you're going through things like that. because it teaches you so many things. It teaches you how to deliver properly and how to project your voice in a way. It teaches you the confidence to perform in front of a crowd, and it teaches you so many things, and like it sharpens your skills, your craft so much, because you have to think on the fly. You have to be creative.
Yeah.
You have to be clever, and it helps your writing out as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you're probably. I'm making this assumption from the background you're giving me, but I'm sure you're probably a quick writer if you have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I can crank out a 16 pretty quickly if need be, you know. I would say I'm a somewhat slow writer whenever I'm writing by myself.
Right.
Because it's like I don't but if it's like a collaboration, like I will work my hardest to pump that out because it's just like I love the collaborative energy, and it's like somebody else, it's like I have somebody else there to like work
Bounce
against
energy
almost.
off of,
Bounce energy off of, and it's like it's just a completely different fashion whenever I am writing in a collaborative session versus writing alone.
And you're being competitive because you're an
Yes,
MC, right?
yeah,
You want to have the dopest verse.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the most fun parts for me is to, it's like how can I one up my best friend on his own song? You know what I mean? But it's all in love. It's all in the spirit of hip hop, and
that's how it's supposed to be. You want to kill it.
And it's like I love that energy. That's really what, and it's the same way with the battling too, and that's why we ended up making a group is because like we were all, it was 4 of us, and every week or every battle it would be one of us or both of us, like 1 or 2 of us in the finals every time. It was the same couple guys that were winning every single time. So we're like, you know what? Why don't we just link up and just shit on everybody? So that's kind of what we did.
Nice. What was the name of the group?
Iron MCs.
Iron MCs. I like
it.
I like
it. We dropped like a 10-track album, I believe, like my senior year of college. So I dropped like a couple of singles like on like MySpace, back in the day. But that was like my first real, like that one was like on Dat Piff. And you know what I mean, like the
That's
Iron
like your
MC's
first official release.
Yeah. So that one. So I was honestly really, really proud of that one because like I created like the artwork for it. Like I mean, it was like we had like photos that we took, and then I made like the CD cover. Like I did like all that kind of by myself, and really just like spearheaded the completion of like the project in its physical form.
Right.
So but it was the first time that I ever really like kind of like by default like took charge of something. You know what I mean? Because normally I'm like a very easygoing guy. Like in group projects, I'm like, yeah, I'm down for whatever you guys want to do type thing, But this one was just because I was so passionate about it, and I was just like, man, I just want to do this. And so I did it. So, yeah.
I definitely want to get into some of the music.
Yeah. We got some new ones. Got an unreleased one that I'll be dropping October 4th.
We're going to get into the release song first. Which one did you want to do?
We could do Moving in Sequence.
Moving in Sequence.
I really like that one a lot.
All right, we're going to get into this Moving in Sequence. We're going to play Moving in Sequence by Spike Yee. You guys can stream this everywhere?
Everywhere.
Y'all can stream this everywhere.
Moving in Sequence, produced by my homie Dom Guillermo, aka Proper. He's also my roommate, and he produces like most of the stuff that I do. And this song in particular was actually made with stock Ableton sounds because we had like just got the studio computer. We didn't have like any plugins, but we still had Ableton on there.
I was just about to ask you like intro the track for us. Tell us how it came about.
So yeah, the song Moving in Sequence. This one was we had like just set up my studio at the crib. And I just got a new computer. It was an old computer that my homie refurbished, and so I bought off him. But so we had just got Ableton on there, and we just wanted to make a song, but we didn't. It was a fresh computer, so we didn't have like any extra sounds, any plugins,
no
any
kits,
effects,
nothing.
So we just had to work with whatever was
on there
on Ableton. You know what I mean? When we got it, and that's how we just. The song, the beat was compiled just of stock Ableton sounds.
That's fire.
But we still, and honestly, it's still one of my favorite ones though. So.
That's what hip hop's about, bro. It's just taking what you got and working with it.
Yes, absolutely is.
All right, we're gonna get into this Moving in Sequence.
start awesome. In the stars, y'all can check up on the kid just like a doctor. One day I'll be on a yacht, peeling shrimp and lobster. Until then I'll be with the squad mobbing, Batman and Robin, Suspect League of Americana. Wait until you see what we've been packing in the back of the Honda. In the spiritual warfare there's karma, but you ain't got nothing to worry about if you have honor. So listen up, don't interrupt with all your nonsense. Add a little substance to your content. Pay attention to the context. Y'all woke but not conscious. I'm speaking to people who have everything but a conscience. Better get lost, y'all ain't relevant now. Y'all been selling your soul, strung out. Play the guitar, cause we finna be on. Y'all ain't go tell me no. I'm banking my future goals on everything that I own. We've been moving in sequence. We can manifest the secret. Seeking wisdom and a piece of the puzzle to take us to infinity. We've been moving in sequence. We can manifest the secret. Seeking wisdom and a piece of the puzzle to take us to infinity. I'm on like a ticking time bomb. Don't be freaking lying, dog. If you listen, my songs will tell you just how raw, refined the rhymes are. And I'll be doing this every time until time's gone. This is what I feel like when you chewing 5 gum. Try to repress depression, do it until I'm numb. I'll be revving up from Siberia to Saigon. Stay away from the grimy reptilians and pythons. They be tempting, try to catch me slipping, but I got rubber soles when I be walking through the kitchen. So better play your role if your life is always scripted. Improvisation only get you so far with assistance, but you can find us on the grind being persistent. I don't want the world, I just want them to listen. I changed the mission, no longer aim for distance. I'm patient, but I'm waiting for the day we get to finish. We've been moving in sequence. We can manifest the secret. Seeking wisdom and a piece of the puzzle to take us to infinity. We've been moving in sequence. We can manifest the secret. Seeking wisdom and a piece of the puzzle to take us to infinity. Moving in sequence.
That's Moving in Sequence by Spike E and Proper. So you said that was all stock.
Yep, stock sounds, Ableton,
Hey,
baby.
killed that though,
Appreciate it.
for sure. Now, like I said, I could tell a lot of the how lyricism is prevalent in a lot of what you do with hip hop. Now,
Yes.
was that always the case for you?
For me, absolutely. It definitely, I mean, just growing up as, a Jay-Z fan, a Biggie fan, a Pac fan,
Yeah.
A DMX fan. It's like lyrics were always
What you needed to have?
what I needed to have. That was that they set the bar for me, right? Like they set the standard for what I consider, like top tier hip hop. So
Oh, yeah.
that is definitely what I look for. And anytime I listen to rap, anytime I listen to anything, it's that's what I listen for. Even when I listen to pop songs, I listen
To the
to the
lyricism.
songwriting. You know what I mean? I listen to song structure and
feel
how
that.
they, you know what I mean? Because because I know how to appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's like I can listen to like say a Jonas Brothers song and be like, you know what? That song was written really well.
Yeah,
Like
I
that
feel
was
you.
produced really well.
Yeah.
Like the vocals were so crisp on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I appreciate so many different aspects
Once
of
again,
like
to
a
circle
song.
back to what we were talking about, like you're a technician, you're listening to,
Yeah.
you're critiquing the songs. Now you're listening from a student standpoint as opposed to a fan.
And I think that does make
Shout
the
out to all the viewers too that's tuned in right now. I see you, Bobby and Perp. What's going on, fellas?
Yo, appreciate y'all for tuning in for real.
Yeah. They say they fucking with the tunes too.
Hell yeah, appreciate that, y'all. Yeah, man, it's just that's classic hip hop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, in my opinion, and to me, nothing beats that. And I think that the industry is circling back around to real
Yeah.
lyricism. You know what I mean?
think so,
It's being
too.
appreciated again.
I agree with that.
It's like for a long time it was kind of out of the picture of the mainstream.
It didn't
for a
have
while.
the same importance that it once had.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But
if you were whack with the lyrics, like there was no respect for you in hip hop.
no, you didn't have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't even get the look. Like as soon as if you whack, people would say you whack, and that's it. Like
Then I think there was like a whack rapper era for a while,
There definitely was.
and like it was cool. Like, and I fell into it. Like I got some guilty pleasures in hip hop. I don't want to say who they are because I just said whack
Absolutely.
rap.
You know, I got some
Not
people who I listen to in secret.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there was a phase, and I think we're still kind of in it. And I think
Yeah.
it's just because beats became so dominant
Yeah.
or predominant in hip hop. Like people started listening more for beats. And there's still people who listen for beats, but like you said, I think we are coming back to a phase where lyricism is starting to
Yeah.
come back into the forefront. And not that I think it ever went anywhere.
Right.
I always say that lyricism stays and gimmicks fade.
Yes, that is so true.
You know what I mean? Like there's stuff that you like. There's songs that you can hear in the club,
Yeah.
but they're cool for the club.
Yeah, yeah,
But
they're
there's
situational, yeah.
There's songs that you listen to that you can listen to anytime. Like if I'm chilling in a car, if I'm by
Yeah.
myself, I'm just vibing out.
Yeah.
Like when that same song, you can't play that in a club. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. You know, it's yeah, like music is situational, right? It depends on where you're at physically and like emotionally, right?
Emotionally,
It's
yeah.
like, and so, but I think my objective with music is always just to be able to make songs that are just widely acceptable, like where it's like my music, like that's why the shows that I do are like super well rounded. Like I don't just do like hip hop shows, right? Like
You try to perform with other.
yeah, like
Other
I've done,
genres.
yeah, I do like you know, like I performed with like jam bands, like I do jam band festivals, I do electronic music, like EDM festivals, right? Like cause my producer and my DJ proper, he is he leans more towards the electronic
The EDM
side,
scene,
like
yeah.
because he plays like house, drum and bass, like
For sure.
like a lot of stuff like in the electronic world. But he's also a musician too, like a physical musician, like a drummer.
He
like
plays
stuff.
instruments,
Yes, you know what I mean. So it's like that's in like, and so I say it's like at the end of the day, like as a musician, like if the music is in you, the music is in you. But like it is just like I lost my train of thought honestly for a second.
Talking about performing with different genres.
Yeah, so like it's at the end of the day, music is music. Like I can,
Yeah.
I'm a musician. Like I started out playing piano. Like I sang in choir. Like
Oh, nice.
so, like I've been involved with music my whole life. So it is just like where I just get in where I can fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like everybody could always use a rapper. Like everybody could always use somebody to rap over their stuff. So it's
Spike E's from West Virginia, Motown, Morgantown.
yeah, Morgantown, West Virginia,
ask you
by
some
way
questions.
of Hong Kong. That's where my parents and my family is from. So,
Okay.
yeah, so, first generation Chinese American.
You first generation.
Yeah,
Oh, very dope. Very
yeah,
dope.
yeah. My parents, child of immigrants. They came over here from Hong Kong, back in the day, at separate times, and then
How do they feel about your music?
they're pretty supportive.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're supportive now. Like it, you know, it's growing up, you know, in a traditional Asian household. It's one of those things where it is, you know, being an artist is like being a musician is like great and all, but like, you know, you need to do something practical,
Right.
Like that was kind of the thing growing up. You
Speak
know,
Mandarin?
I speak a little bit of Mandarin. My first language was Cantonese.
Okay.
That's the main dialect that they speak in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah,
Mandarin is the official dialect of China. And then, but in Hong Kong and certain provinces, like in China, they speak Cantonese, and that's where. So that's like so that was my native language. And
You
then
ever incorporated into music?
yeah, I have a couple of songs that I do where I, you know, I throw a little bit in there. My reading and writing is not there. Like I can speak it. I'm conversationally fluent in Cantonese.
Right.
Mandarin, I'm like, I understand more than I can speak, but
Right.
I don't know how to like read or write it.
Okay.
And that's what makes it difficult. So like whenever I rap in Chinese, like I have to write out the
Phonetically.
English. Yeah,
Phonetically,
yeah,
yeah.
the English pronunciations,
Yep.
like the actual phonetics of the
Right.
word and like
Yep.
so it makes it a little more difficult, but I mean, I know what I'm saying whenever, like when I read back, like I know what I mean.
I get it. So for those who may not get it, because it's not in like English lettering, you can't write it the same.
Yeah.
Language is cool like that, right? So you got to do it phonetically. It's
Yep.
not necessarily how it's spelled because you can't spell it in English.
Yeah, so you do your best to like translate the sound of it in English.
Right.
And so yeah, it's just
But
so
no, that's fire.
yeah, so I've done it here and there, like and it's fun. I really enjoy doing it, but Cantonese is difficult because there's so many tones within the language. Like Mandarin, there's like tones. It's like it's a tonal language. So it's like when people are talking, it sounds like they're singing because they're just hitting different tones, right? Like, so Mandarin, there's 4 tones. There's for each like character, right? And so the tones are ah. Those are 4 different tones, and if you say one word with a different tone, it could mean a completely
It has a
different thing.
Different connotation.
Yeah. So like in
different.
Cantonese, there's like 12 tones, I think, 8 or 12. I don't even know all of them. I know like the main ones or whatever, but so like it's weird because there's so in Cantonese, for example, say is 4, right? But if you say with a different tone, if you say say, that means death, right? And it's just because of and so there's it's funny, there's this thing that in Cantonese where it's like a tongue twister, right? Like a Cantonese tongue twister, but for tones. And it
It's to
is
help kids learn tones.
yeah.
Right.
So it's like there's one that goes go 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 go, right? And to that sounds just sounds like a bunch of sounds, but what that meant was that brother over there is taller than that brother over there.
Right.
But it's just the difference, like Gogo
Different
means
tones.
brother, Gogo means that one, Gogo means taller. So when you put it all together, Gogo 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 Gogo, you know what I mean?
And it comes out to be a whole sentence.
Yeah.
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 No, that's fire. So I can see, like, even with that, right? We're talking about like your love for lyricism, your love for being a technician of the art. You probably have a love for language in the same way.
Oh, I love it. Linguistics. I studied linguistics in school as well. That was like one of my specializations, and it was just incredibly fun to just sit there in a classroom and listen to some guy explain language to me.
Right.
Like I used to, in one of my linguistics classes, I used to break down rap lyrics for my assignments. Like they would give us assignments to be like, all right, go find a piece of literary work and break it down and like, you know what I mean, analyze it and like, you know what I mean, do all this stuff to it. Like, you know what I mean, the label, like, and so I was like, oh, this is great. So I would just go and I still have my little notebook of like my assignments. It was just my homework notebook that I would turn in, and it was literally just me breaking down rap lyrics. Every
This is
single
right up my
page.
alley. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I've never been so enthusiastic about being in school.
Right.
But then that was like when I realized that, it's like I actually have a passion for this. This is exciting to me to learn about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, for sure. Now, you said you dropped a project on that Piff. That was like the first official release, and that was a group project, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was the first solo project you dropped?
Was the following project actually after that. It was called it was a mixtape. It was 18 songs, 18 track mixtape called Shanghai Nights that I put together. It was pretty much entirely produced by my homie DJ Coots. Shout out to him. He's day one from Charleston, West Virginia. Just met him through my homie. He used to, the same way I used to come home from school to hang out with my homies back home and drop them a mixtape of my songs, he would drop me a tape of his beats every time I came home from school. He was roommates with some of my best friends from high school.
Yeah.
So I would just hang out with them, and it was funny because he used to do the same thing. I would come home to party with my friends. He would be in his room making beats, and he would come out, roll up with us, kick a couple freestyles, and then he would go back and like bring out like his beats that he would just made, and we'd freestyle over him, then go back in his room, make more beats. And every time I would come home, he'd just lace me with a new 20 tracks, 20 beats, you know what I'm saying, every time. So he made that my first solo project possible. Yeah.
And it was a different time, right? Because you weren't able to just like go on sound click or
Yeah,
whatever.
you couldn't just get beats.
You
like,
had
you
to
know
know
what
a
I mean?
producer or just
you
do
did.
some industry shit.
Yeah, this was like 2000. This is probably like in the late 2000s, you know what I'm saying? 2009, 10, 11.
So
around
you had to
those
really
years.
get it from the mud
Yeah, you really had to know somebody
Yeah.
to do it. So
to be a part of it.
so I was definitely very fortunate and very blessed to just, you know, what I mean, it was like that was kind of like
You guys still work together?
he's I had it's been a minute since we've spoken, but we are definitely still like I still love that guy to
Yeah,
death.
for sure.
I think I hit him up not like couple maybe a year or two ago, I would say, just like or he'll send me beats randomly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, hey, how you doing? Got some new shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I love it. I love that. You know what I
So
mean?
he's still active.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what's
still
up.
doing his thing, I think. So shout out to him.
How was that? How was Shanghai Nights received?
Uh, Very well. It was. I got a monster lung actually. Whenever he
Yeah.
found out that I was putting that out, he set up a show for me
Oh,
to
dope.
do
Like an album release party.
album release party. So that was really really great. Actually, I had had some people come out who to support that I didn't even know knew
We're
that I
tuned in,
rapped.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
people from like my high school or people from wherever. So like the turnout was like already it was way more than I expected. So it was a good time. Good turnout, and that gave me the confidence to like kind of start doing things on my own and
To
like
try to take it further.
yeah, because I was like, oh, there's actually people interested. All right, maybe I'll do something. So
So I want to get in this unreleased track. Tell us a little bit about the unreleased tracks you sent me.
this one is called Mountain Maid. My homie, once again, Proper, produced this one. And then a friend of ours, Eric Kirkland, he is a audio engineer, musician, everything. He's everything as well. But he played guitar, sent Proper the guitar loop, and Dom put the beat over it. And then I came down and I was like, "What are you making?" And he was like, "This is what I'm working
This
on
is
right
what I'm working
now."
on,
And
yeah.
I sat down and I like kind of just started writing, like just it's
On the spot.
Yeah, it was one of those times where you just like everything, it just like clicks, and then what I mean, it just comes naturally. So the first verse came out, and I was like, "This is cool." Wrote the second verse to it. Didn't really knew what I wanted to do with the song, but didn't know what I was going to do with the chorus. So I sent it over to my homie Sam James, and he's a musician, guitar player. He's more I want to say like rockabilly, like rock, funk, folk. Like he's
Yeah.
like modern day like Appalachia,
Like some fusion.
like
some
yeah.
fusion
So
shit,
like
yeah.
he's cool. I really like his style, and so I sent it over to him, and he came back with this hook, and I was like, "This is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for." And so it's like an ode to Appalachia, right? Like
Yeah.
just where I grew up, and
Yep.
it was one of those songs that was like a long time coming, because like I've been making music for so long, and I've never written about just like where I'm from, like
Yeah.
here, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like West Virginia, like never really repped it hard like that in a song. Like I rep it always, what I
Yeah,
mean,
for
to the
sure.
death, but like in a song, like because usually it's like when people make songs like about like that, it's like songs like that, it's like kind of come out cheesy, I guess. I mean, no knock to anybody who's
Made a
done
song
it.
about the area.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I feel like it's it's necessary, but how do you do it without? Because there's always a stigma.
Like you said,
to
not
that.
making it like a gimmick.
Yeah,
Gimmicky,
without gimmicky, you know what I'm saying? And like, so my intention was never to make this song about Appalachia or West Virginia, but just it was like just a little bit of everything, like a bar here about how I felt about growing up, like a bar about like just the overall social state and economic state of the state, pun intended, like
Yeah.
so just like a little bit of everything sprinkled in, but just
Stuff that people that are from there can relate to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And stuff that people that aren't from there can get introduced to.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Just kind of letting people know what it is, really.
No, I think that's important to take people into your world.
Yeah,
I think that's what connects people with music the most is when you're able to bring them into there. I've said it on this show many a times. Like I never been to California. I never been to L.A., California, but I can tell you about Crenshaw. I can tell you about the whole atmosphere and the vibe from listening to Snoop and Dre and Nipsey and artists from there. I never been to New Orleans, but I know about the wards and I know the slang, woody and round from listening to the music. They brought us into that. So it's cool to do something like that for where you're from as well. For sure.
I felt it was necessary, and it's like it's close to the heart because it's the first one where I'm just like, okay, like it's because my whole life I've identified as like Chinese, like Asian American, right? But then I got older and I just started to think like, this West Virginia is played as big a part in my life raising me as my parents did, and with Chinese culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I did grow up in West Virginia, so like I am a West Virginian. Right. I am Appalachian. You know what I'm saying? So I coined the term Appalachian. You know what I'm saying?
I like that, yeah.
An Asian in Appalachia.
Right,
it's so I got a line about that in the song. So
let's get into it then. Spike E. Oh, by the way, this is unreleased music, so you can't get this anywhere. We always get the unreleased joints. Do you have we'll talk about that after we play it. Every now and then we run into technical difficulties. I don't know.
Asking my location, I'ma tell you where I'm from. A valley in the mountains where they always get her done. In the holler, hang around the sticks enough and bang the drums. You could try to take advantage, but you'll never take our guns. Cock back like a 12 gauge, you could see the hell raised. Almost having quick approach and last stop on the L train. Wait, rep my city and my state, staying hungry, but we keeping West Virginia on the plate. No debate, holy water for the sinners, moonshine for the angels. Now my future ever clear and scribing on these pages. Boots are cowhide, look at us, we outside. With pride that we devised, got them with their mouths wide. Grew up a stranger to this place, I found a way in. First generation, original Appalachian. Taking influence from the two cultures I was raised in. Blazing trails, now my story's so amazing. So take a good look up in the mountains. Underneath the coal you'll find a couple diamonds. Where the storms tomorrow, the sun's shining. Find us in the hills just vibing. I stand up cause I'm mountain made. Hold my ground and I give it praise. There's not much that you can say, cause I'm proof of what the mountain made. 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 Tell me, have you ever went outside to smell of oxygen? Or bend a knee and mend their hearts to smell like broken promises? Beauty in the struggle while we still dealing with poverty. But I see them rolling hills and realize anything is possible. As an adolescent, I done see nothing but obstacles. Skeletons in closets had an Narnia been chronicled. Illness and disease turned addiction into fiends. How do you save all your people if nobody will believe? We trying to enlighten but save your lighters for the weed. I ain't trying to grow an army, I'm just trying to plant a seed. Look, maybe grow a garden, but this ain't Gethsemane. Disseminate this information even to my enemies. Education level pretty elementary. While y'all pushing P, me and my people out here pushing peace. Y'all can save that whoop-de-whoop and violence for the streets. Best believe I'm riding for my state until I rest in peace. So take a good look up in the mountains. Underneath the coal you'll find a couple diamonds. Where the storms tomorrow, the sun's shining. Find us in the hills just vibing. I stand up cause I'm mountain made. Hold my ground and I give it praise. There's not much that you can say, cause I'm proof of what the mountain made. 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 Mountain
Mountain Made, Spike E.
Yeah.
When you plan on releasing that?
October 4th, 10-4.
Okay, for
Yeah,
sure.
10-4.
Yeah, no, I'm rocking with it. I like it. It definitely has the fusion with the hook on there, like you say. You could tell.
Yeah, it's a little different from like most of the songs that I make, but you know, it's I'm glad I made it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Just one
Felt
of
like it
those
needed to
where-
be done.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
For sure, man. So what can we look forward to coming up from you?
Really just I got a couple got a couple events coming up. I think the next one that I'm doing is we got a festival in Ohio that me and Proper will be playing.
Dope. Yeah.
So OV DJ Camp Out. They're just a collective DJs up there. So they've been doing this a couple years. They've been having us come back every year for it. So
Yeah.
that would be cool. That and then got the song dropping, and then just be working on some new music.
Is it just
to
a song or is it going to be a project?
This is gonna be just a single.
Just a
It's
single? Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
So y'all got to preview it here first.
Yeah, it's my next one. I haven't honestly. It's been a busy year. I've been doing a lot of traveling, so I haven't had a lot of time to be in the studio. So this will be actually the first song that I'm dropping this year.
Oh, very dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's like I was on like a good streak. I was on a good run for a while, but like we really started doing a lot of out of town shows and traveling and festival season and stuff, and it was just like every weekend we're gone. So it's like, and then I work during the week, so it's like tough to just have
Balance.
the time to be creative. Like
Yeah.
the TBTs are like my I'm able to just like get in there. I have a day dedicated to making the TBTs.
It's a part of your regimen now.
Yeah, it's a part of my like regimen and like my weekly routine. That's
Yep.
like it's in there. So but and then other than that, yeah. So I'm definitely trying to like find some time to like get back in and like really start creating again. But that usually I just kind of let that happen.
Organically.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that too. No, but I appreciate you coming out to join us. I'm gonna be tuned in to everything you got upcoming. Anytime you want to come by and promo something, you got something coming out that you want us to help you pump. You're more than welcome down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios, the Marley State of Mind podcast. We love to have you, and I appreciate you coming and sharing your
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
your time and your story, man. It's very dope to get to know you, bro.
Likewise, man. It's thank you for having me, man. Bunchable Studios. Y'all are great. Appreciate the hospitality every time I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
For sure, man. One more time, give them the socials how they can get a hold of you.
Y'all can find me at Spike Yeezy, SPIKEYEEZY. On all social media, on streaming platforms, it's just Spike Yee. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, make sure y'all send that man beats. Y'all want them features, get at them now before that price go up.
SpikeYeemusic@gmail.com.
Yes, sir. Send them beats through. Till next time, Marley State of Mind podcast down here at the Bunch of Bull Studio. We'll see y'all next Saturday with another special guest. Until then,